5, 6, and... I want to be great.
And you're not.
We got Buddy Rich here. Little trouble there. You're rushing. Here we go. 5, 6, and... Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
If you deliberately sabotage my band, I will gut you like a pig. Oh, my dear God. Are you one of those single-tier people? You are a worthless pansy-ass who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a 9-year-old girl.
Hi everybody, it's B007 here to discuss Whiplash, which was one of my favourite movies of last year. I think this is a stunning and unique and audacious and exhilarating film, and really unique. It's the kind of film that you can't describe without making it just sound odd and goofy and weird. I can't describe why it works, why it connects with so many people on such a visceral level, but it just does. So I really hope you take me on faith and go and check it out. The movie played the London Film Festival 2014, and it was, despite being a very good festival this year for weather, it was an absolutely torrentially raining evening. So the atmosphere inside an absolutely packed Odeon Leicester Square, which is one of the largest screens in England, was humid. It felt like Singapore in there. And you had all these people sitting down to watch this, most of them dressed to the nines because it was the big sponsorship gala. And most of them, I'm guessing, not perhaps fans of jazz or jazz drumming or knowing much about the film, and sitting in this like intensely claustrophobic, humid atmosphere. And it's the only time I've seen this happen where at the end of the movie everyone breaks into spontaneous applause that just lasts for, it seems like ages, but probably 3 or 4 minutes. Standing ovations, this just incredible response. And then after the movie we all tipped out to a club in the West End where a jazz band performed the music from the film. We had the stars mingling. A rather bizarre conversation with Miles Teller when he asked me what I did, and I said I was a critic, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And it was revealed that he really is a drummer. He is a drummer, and he authentically played the music in this film. And, you know, I think the authenticity and the passion and just the sheer commitment to excellence in this film stands true. So, like I said, a thriller about a jazz drummer may not seem your thing, but I strongly, strongly urge you to check it out. So, how does this movie start? It starts off at a conservatoire in New York, where a young jazz drummer, played by Miles Teller, is trying out for a elite jazz band, which is run by J.K. Simmons' character. And his life is just transformed. And so many of the scenes of this film just take place in rehearsal studios. And you see J.K. Simmons, who's this absolutely hard-ass teacher. He brooks no failure. His attitude is one of bullying towards excellence to the point of psychological and physical breakdown. This guy is just insane in some respects. So when I'm describing this to you and saying that basically the only real action of this film, the only time you really break out of the rehearsal studio, is when the band goes to play at a competition, and there is a kind of set piece kind of action drama insofar as Miles Teller needs to get there on time. He gets into a car crash, he's running, is he going to make it? And then he's on stage, and what's going to happen? So that's kind of an action set piece, but basically this is a duet. It's a duet between J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller. J.K. Simmons trying to break Miles Teller, and Miles Teller seeing how much he can thwart this guy's attempt to break him, and how much he can prove to him that he can be excellent. He can be the all-time greatest jazz drummer. So how do you make this movie seem so exhilarating? I think you have to give immense praise to the writer-director Damien Chazelle. It's only his second film, which is just astonishing to me. He also made the other sort of music-themed thriller Grand Piano, starring, I keep wanting to say Frodo Baggins, which he must hate, Elijah Wood as a concert pianist who he opens up the page, his score, and he sees a note from a blackmailer saying, if you play one wrong note, your family is going to die. And so a thriller unfolds. So he's very much in that sort of thriller genre, almost pushing it to the edge of giallo. Sometimes it feels almost like it's kind of paying homage to those really insane sort of Italian extremist horror genre movies. And in this film, I think the energy and the excitement comes from the way in which the film is cut and framed and shot. It's shot like a thriller, even though it's in the dance studio. So every scene is so high octane, it's so frenetic, it feels like an interrogation or torture sequence. It feels like a Bond movie. I know I'm sounding really hyperbolic, but I'm struggling to explain just how engrossing, how driven this film is. And I have to say, there is a set piece near the end where the jazz band is playing one of its tunes. And the way in which that's shot, the camera positioning, the angles, the cutting, I think that's probably the single best filmed concert piece probably in cinema history. I mean, it really is a tour de force of editing and shooting. So in conclusion, like I said, it's a film about two intense characters. It's an intense movie. You do not need to like jazz music. You don't need to know anything about drumming to get into this film. If you like thrillers, if you like action, if you love to see obsessive characters, give Whiplash a chance. And although J.K. Simmons is getting all of the awards kind of hoopla, Miles Teller also fantastic in this film. And, you know, to look at him in some of the press shots, you think this is a young Cary Grant. I mean, he just looks fantastic. He's got real charisma. And I can't wait to see what he does next. And as for Damien Chazelle, I mean, my God, for this to be his second feature, what a career he has in front of him.